Welcome to part 14 of my walkthrough for Final Fantasy IX, my friends. We are about to step inside Gizamaluke's Grotto, where a tough boss battle awaits, even though we can make that boss battle a lot simpler by following a simple method that I'll demonstrate later on. Unfortunately, all of the Burmesian soldiers have been slain, even though that guy that's on the ground just blinked. So that's odd. But in this segment we'll be battling the black mages for the first time. Unfortunately we have no choice here. And there's a monster that can teach Queen a new blue magic skill. So we want to fight that monster as well. I believe that monster is called the Lamia. And we can also access the area where we can battle grand dragons. Inside Gizamaluke's Grotto, in fact, we have to take a path inside the grotto to reach that area, but we are not quite ready at this point to battle the grand dragon, so what I'm going to do is clear the grotto, then I'm going to have Queen learn a new blue magic skill, which will be crucial for the upcoming fight against the grand dragons, and then I'll come back to the grotto and battle a couple of grand dragons, since I don't want to level up my characters too much. This is one of the enemies that you can encounter here, the Hornets. They're very annoying because they can inflict the Berserk status on your characters, but with Berserk it increases the attack power of your character, so it's actually not that bad. They can also poison you, but at this point in the game, if you've been following my walkthrough, all of your characters should have the antibody ability, so they can't get poisoned. And as you can see, Freya is already on the Berserk status, but that will increase her attack power. And as such, it's very easy to deal with these enemies, even though they can be a little bit annoying. I will only show new fights from this point forward. If I repeat a fight against the same monster, then I won't include it, because the strategy will always be the same. But we can do a few changes here. And let's give Freya the bug killer. Make sure she has the undead killer ability equipped as well, because we battle skeletons during this segment. Like literally they're skeletons with knives. But most importantly, we have to battle the black mages who use a few magic attacks, even though we only have to battle 4 of them here, so it's not a big deal. Here we have the two clowns once again, Zorn and Thorn. You'll find that they're always related to the most tragic events in Final Fantasy IX, they're just really obnoxious.
Kill them we shall have!
They might seem funny with the way that they speak, but I despise them a lot. So with the black mages, we're just going to attack, have Zidane steal just to increase his Thievery skill, even though he doesn't even have that skill yet. All the steals that you do at this point already count towards the attack power of your Thievery skill later on. Vivi's magic really isn't all that useful in this stage because, well, to be fair, my Vivi is a little bit under leveled. But it's not even because of that, it's just due to the fact that he really needs to start learning new magic attacks. But pretty soon Vivi will be able to learn Fyra, Blizzara and Thundera, so he'll be much more powerful then.
Run away!
That's just how I imagine they talk, since they... To me, if they talk, they would sound like Yoda. Always go back and get the bell from this dead soldier. Yes, he gives you one, but you can collect another one from him. And make sure you give a little prayer as well, because the guy, well, he did pass away. And you can outmaneuver this black mage, as you can see here. It's fairly simple to do so, but we actually need to fight it in order to get another bell. So come over here. I don't like having to destroy black mages because they're just pawns in all of this, but still we have to do this in order to get the bell. I'm sure it's not easy for Vivi to have to slay his own king, but oh well. So we're going to get an item now, which will boost up Zidane's stats a little bit. We can, since we have 2 bells right now, we can destroy this door and the other door as well. And the soldier that's standing in the ground will give us another bell. And I don't think that soldier dies, I think he's always here. Or at least he keeps talking to you. I don't know if he's still here when you come back to the grotto after you leave the first time, but for now he will always stay here. So yeah, that's all he does. You can keep talking to him, but he will just say the same thing over and over. Okay, and here we have another monster. It's called the skeleton. Which, you know, it makes sense that it's called a skeleton. The skeleton can use thunder magic, and it also has an attack that can deal, a physical attack that can deal heavy damage. You can actually learn Pumpkin Head from the skeleton if you didn't get it from the ladybugs. So there's only one more monster that we need to face here. Oh, and make sure you equip that bronze vest. Like I said, it gives Zidane a little boost. And once again, let's ring the bell. And there's a couple of items for us to pick up in this stairway. Right here we can pick up a new pair of mithril gloves, which Freya already has, but we'll give the other pair to Steiner. And let's see what we have here. Oh, here it is. This monster is annoying, but we can learn a blue magic skill from it. Unfortunately, this monster can cast Cure. It can cast Confuse on your party members. It's already doing that, which is annoying. And it targeted Zidane, which is even worse because Zidane can literally kill any of my party members rather easily. And I just did a mistake. I wanted Vivi to attack Zidane and I had Vivi attack himself. Sorry about that. Oh, well, he did me a favor by attacking Zidane, and now I don't have to worry. Another annoying thing about this monster is the fact that after you deliver a certain amount of damage, it will use an ability which will boost its attack power, so you need to be very careful here. And it used Cure, so I won't be able to eat it right away. But maybe with Vivi and Freya attacking it, maybe I will be able to cause enough damage to have Queen eat it. No, I'm probably going to have to do more damage. Yeah, that's not enough. Let's try this again. Let's just have Vivi damage it a little bit more. Its health needs to be below 25%. See, and it gained more attack power, which is bad, because it will start dealing heavy damage to my party member. But hopefully after this I should be able to have Queen eat it, because it can't have that much more health left. So let's try it again. There we go. So that's another blue magic for Queen. As you can see, it gives terrible experience points. And in here we can find a Magus head. Make sure you give it to Vivi. Vivi can learn slow, which will come in handy against the upcoming boss fight, because the boss is vulnerable to slow. Sword and Thorn would do that. So that coupon that Vivi got all the way back in Lindblom will come in handy now. So we'll give it to her. Can't let poor Moguta inside that bell. The Mughals are more powerful than we thought. So we can get another bell now. Hey, they work together at least. But anyway, get the bell and let's go through this door, follow the Mughals, and if we take this path, we can reach the area where we can battle Grand Dragons at Popo Heights. Is it Popo Heights? I think it's Popo Heights that it's called, but anyway, we're not going to climb up quite yet unless you really have a death wish. We're not prepared at this point, so we'll be back here a little bit later on. And this is just a letter saying that Freya won the tournament. That's a pretty nice score, if I do say so myself. And we got the coral ring, which we do need. Let's take a little nap here just because, why not? And now we can go ahead and face the boss. Let's put Queen in the back row, just to be on the safe side. Freya can stay where she is right now. He's Kupo for Kupo nuts. Funny. But we're going to face the boss now, and we want to steal from the boss, Gizamaluke. I know you guys probably never like it when I say, oh, you should steal from this boss, but you'll get a nice staff which will teach Vivi Blizzara, and it will come in handy, so we are going to attempt to steal, even if it takes a while. So here we go, battle against Gizamaluke. A tough boss for this stage in the game if you're under level, but unlike a lot of bosses, he is vulnerable to a certain trick. You see, when you use a tent, the tent item in battle, there's a probability, a high probability that tent, aside from restoring your health and MP, it will also cause a lot of ailments to your party, namely silence, darkness, and I believe it can also poison your party. And it works against Gizamaluke. See? Beaten by silence, darkness, and poison snake, which is not affected by poison, I think, but nonetheless, as you can see, he's become a lot easier to deal with now because he's blind, so his physical attacks won't connect for the most part, and he can't cast magic anymore except for this silent voice attack, which I don't know how he can still do it, but he won't be able to cast water, which deals heavy damage to your party as well, so he's just become a lot easier. Now, a very important thing about Tent, if you're going to use a Tent against him, use it at the start of the battle, because regardless if Tent deals the status ailments or not, it will always restore Gizamaluke's health, and if you already dealt damage to him and you use the tent at some point during the fight, it will restore its health, and you don't want that. So that's why you should always use it at the start of the battle to make sure that he doesn't recover his health. And sometimes I think it might take a couple of tents, you need to throw a couple of tents at him before he gets all the status ailments. Another good thing is that you can use Vivi to cast slow on him, which it doesn't always work, but 1 out of 2 times, kind of, it will connect and it will be slowed down. And now we're just going to keep stealing. We need to steal a Magus hat, an Elixir, and an ice staff. The ice staff obviously is what takes a long time, and yeah. You can still damage him while you do this because he has a lot of health. One thing I don't understand is how he can use silent voice, because to me that seems like some sort of skill, and with silence he shouldn't be able to use it, but nonetheless, even if you are under level, this strategy works like a charm because you will only have the one attack that works, and stealing is taking a long time, so I might cut out a segment of this fight, honestly. Otherwise this video will drag itself out quite a lot. Okay guys, and I finally got the ice staff, and I cut out the segment of this battle because I literally didn't attack him. I just stood here waiting for Zidane to steal, which would have been a lot harder if he could use magic, because if he kept spamming that water magic attack I would have been in trouble. Fortunately, since he's silenced, he can't do anything, so it's all thanks to the tent. But it did take me like 5 minutes to steal the ice staff, and I don't think, at this point I don't even remember if I already stole the Magus head, but I'm pretty sure I did. Nonetheless, let's make sure, yeah, he doesn't have anything else, so we can finish this fight. It's about time. Thunder works well against him, so you can use that, and a couple more strikes should do him in. I tell you, stealing can be really frustrating in this game. See, he can't cast water, and there we go. He was going to attempt to cast water, but since he has the silent effect on him, he can't do anything. And sometimes he can cast water on all your party members at the same time, and it deals heavy damage. So that's why throwing that tent at the start of the battle really helps out. So I recommend that you do it if you intend to steal. Otherwise this fight might be a little bit complicated at this point. And look at that, we even got another tent, so the tent we used, we regained it. So it's all good. Okay, it's time to see what Steiner and Dagger are up to. As we know, they're trying to make their way back to the castle. You don't have to worry because we really don't have any battles here. It's just essentially a cutscene, though we do need to perform a certain amount of actions to make sure that we can move along in the story, but it's nothing special. This segment doesn't take too long. Their Final Fantasy is TSA. I'm surprised that they don't ask Steiner to take off his shoes, really. If you've been in an American airport, you know what I'm talking about. I think Steiner is trying his best to control himself. Because if someone speaks ill of the Queen, he flips out. Well, that wasn't too bad. We didn't even need to get fingerprinted or anything. As you can tell, I've had to deal with customs quite a lot. So this is a little side rant that has no implications with the game whatsoever. But anyway, there's a treasure chest that you can see here. But if you move to your left, you'll be able to get it. It's very hard. I guess you can see the corner of it, but it's a new weapon for Dagger. So yeah, we won't kill him, but even if we selected the option to kill, Steiner still wouldn't do it. But we need to talk with this guy, because he's the other guy's boss, and we need to move him away from this area so that Dagger can pop out. And we also need to talk with part-time worker Mary so that she gets out of the way. And that treasure chest that you see up there in the steps, we can't reach it now because Steiner is carrying that huge bag, but we'll be able to get it later on, much later on in the game, so don't worry about it. So yeah, we're going to talk with this guy. He's unemployed and filed for bankruptcy. Kind of feel bad for him. And now we're going to talk with part-time worker Mary because she likes the guy, so she's going to try and motivate him. It turns out that the guy doesn't even know her, but oh well. So we can go inside now. Except the TSA thinks otherwise. So we need to go towards him. It's actually nothing that bad. So yeah, I guess that works out very well. That guy is a great hostage negotiator. So yeah, we can climb up, but let's get rid of this huge bag. Guess that's the password between the two of them. Yeah, we're going to keep looking at this side, otherwise Steiner is about to be very creepy. So we can collect a letter. We're going to do that. There we go, we got the letter. Let's give Dagger the Multina rocket. And Steiner, we can do a few switcheroos here as well. Let's get rid of Bright Eyes and give him the alert skill. Make sure we don't suffer any back attacks. And we can give her a Magus hat and a cotton robe. And that's going to work for now. We don't really need anything, so I'm just going to move inside the train. I guess we're the only passengers. I swear, Steiner has his head so far up Dagger's butt that it's just absurd. He's getting better though, so at the very least we we can say that. And unfortunately this guy is going to pass away as well. So we're going to step outside. And that's going to be our next destination, Burmecia, but only after we battle a couple of Grand Dragons. So this is going to be the end of this segment, my friends. I hope my strategy against Gizamaluke comes in handy when you battle him as well. In the next part we're going to find a couple more treasures hidden in the world map. We're going to teach Queen a couple of new blue magic skills, and lastly we are going to attempt to battle a Grand Dragon. I'll demonstrate how, but like I said, that's for the next segment.